Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. I had to do a quick video on this article that I saw this morning, and I'm thinking about starting to collect articles again for Saturdays or something like that, so that we can continue to do a Twilight Zone, because this article definitely belongs in a Twilight Zone episode. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I think this title should be changed to "The Empire is Falling." Alright, because this is what happens when an empire is failing and falling quickly. They no longer have anywhere else they can tax us. So now they're getting our rainwater. So let me go ahead and read this real quick. New Jersey voters furious as Governor Murphy prepares to sign rain tax into law. Just when frustrated residents of New Jersey, one of the most heavily taxed states in the U.S., thought that Governor Phil Murphy had already brought the state into the ninth circle of taxation hell with new taxes to save the state's ailing pension system, middle-class voters in one of the least affordable states in the country have now given one more thing to complain about. Or have now been given one more thing to complain about: a tax on rain. After a bill authorizing the new local tax was passed by the state last month, Murphy is preparing to sign it into law over the objections of the state's Republicans, according to New York Post. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, don't get trapped into the left-right paradigm, okay? I'm just reading it as it's here. And Governor Phil Murphy says, as one state lawmaker told the Post, just when New Jersey residents thought the state had already laid claim to every revenue stream imaginable, Democrats have found one more thing to tax. Every time you think nothing's left to tax, we come up with something else, says Assemblyman Hal Worths, I guess is his name, exploded during a debate on the measure. It's just never ending down here, he says. And voters are understandably furious, and I guess these are a few Twitter posts. And this person here says, "What? It gets crazier, my Jersey friend. The bill has passed and now it's going to the governor for signature." Let's see another one. The insane asylum known as New Jersey is now charging people because it rains. You cannot make this stuff up. And here is their ideology behind that decision, ladies and gentlemen. It says here, the rain tax, which is largely supported by Democrats and largely opposed by Republicans, would allow towns, counties, and local authorities to set up their own stormwater utilities. These newly created arms of local bureaucracy. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, they want to tax these people so that they can open up another branch of government. It's like I said, we pay for our own enslavement. So these people that got elected want to tax them even more. All right, want to tax their constituency even more, so that they can put even more regulations on them. So they're taking the money from the people so that they can use that money to control the people that they're supposed to be serving even more. Okay, carrying on. These newly created arms of local bureaucracy would be empowered to charge property owners a fee based on the amount of non-permeable surface they own. For example, parking lots and driveways. The logic behind this is that non-permeable surfaces create runoff when it rains, and that runoff gets polluted as it travels from these surfaces into local sewers and then onto the state's waterways. The revenue generated by these taxes would be used to upgrade the state's stormwater system and save the state's already polluted waters from further pollution, though the state would step in and scoop up 5% of all revenues. I guess I can finish reading this real quick. The EPA, according to an op-ed published by NewJersey.com, has estimated that a complete overhaul of New Jersey's stormwater system would cost $15.6 billion. But unfortunately for Democrats, while taxing the rich might be in vogue among 2020 presidential contenders, let's see. Very few middle-class voters in a state that is already one of the most heavily taxed in the country want another massive tax levied on their driveway. To illustrate just how politically radioactive the rain tax has become, it's worth a look at a Maryland Governor Larry Hogan's upset victory in the state's 2014 gubernatorial race. In a scenario that might sound familiar to many of our readers, Hogan was believed to be so far behind Democratic Lieutenant Governor Brown that media didn't even bother to conduct exit polling on election day. But when Hogan unexpectedly came from behind, when Hogan unexpectedly, is what they should have put, came from behind and clinched the governor's mansion, stunned pundits started casting about for an explanation. And through a hodgepodge of anecdotal reports, they settled on the rain tax, which Hogan had furiously campaigned against. Maryland passed the law in 2012, 2 years before the election. And that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. So I just wanted to read that really quick video. Just thought I'd put it out there to show you that they're running out of places to collect tax. And this is my question. So check this out. So they're saying because parking lots and driveways and things like that are not permeable and all that kind of stuff. That's great. It would make sense that if you have a surface area that's not permeable, right, and then that causes rainwater or stormwater to run off and contaminate waters that the city has to clean, right? So here's the two problems with that. First of all, it says the city has to clean that water, right? Because this water runs into the drains and then it ends up in the city's water that they have to clean. Okay, don't you already pay a utility tax for that, right? Don't you guys, when you get your utility bill, I mean, be it in New Jersey or anywhere, it's probably pretty much the same almost anywhere you are. In your utility bill, don't you pay some kind of a tax or a fee or a regulatory whatever, or a training tax, or just pick one, right? So don't you already pay taxes for that? Number two, then what are codes good for? Then what are city codes good for when you're building a home or building a business? Shouldn't they have told you, hey, the code for this is that you have to have a permeable driveway? Because there is such a thing. I remember when I lived in Washington, when I first moved there, I moved to an apartment complex that had permeable driveways. So when it rained, the water actually went right through the asphalt, right? Because it was a permeable type of asphalt. So why didn't they tell these people when they were building, hey, we have to implement this code so you can have a permeable driveway or a permeable whatever, right? You know why? Because it wasn't a problem until they started running out of money. Now that they've mishandled your tax dollars, now they want more. So they have to make something up. They have to say, oh, this is a problem. Even though it's not really a problem, but it's a problem now because we need to find a way to make money. Okay? And it's like that with a lot of things, ladies and gentlemen. And I won't get into some of the other things that it's like that for. But the state creates a problem, okay? So that then it's called the Hegelian dialectic. The state creates a problem so that you can garner a reaction, right? So that you can have a reaction. And then the state comes in and says, oh, but wait a minute. This is how we can fix it. And then normally, the method in which they use to fix the problem that they created usually takes away more of your freedoms. And in this case, it's taking away their freedoms. Because whenever you're paying more taxes, believe it or not, you're giving away your freedom. Because you had to go to work to pay for those taxes. You had to go to work and earn money so that you can pay those taxes. And going to work, you're trading your labor. You're trading your time. That is your freedom. All right? So, Hegelian dialectic, this is a perfect example. All right? They're creating a problem that doesn't really exist. getting a reaction from the people and then saying, wait a minute, this is how we can fix this. And even though it's going to be a little painful, it's for the betterment of everyone. So now you guys are going to have to pay more taxes. When in all actuality is, they're just broke. They are broke, and they are milking the cow as much as they possibly can until the last drop of milk comes out. And then after that, forget about you. All right? And this guy right here, who cares if he loses? He doesn't care if he loses, ladies and gentlemen. Most of these states, and I think that if you're a governor in a state or a senator or a congressman or whatever, even if you serve one term and you retire after that one term, you get 100% of your salary for the rest of your life. That's your retirement package. All right? So if anyone thinks that their government really cares about them, they do. Your government cares about you a lot. Trust me when I say that. Your government cares about you a lot. Just like a rancher cares about his cows. Because the rancher knows that in the end, that cow is going to give him some revenue. Same thing with us, ladies and gentlemen. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, got to go to work. So remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place. And you know it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper, and I'm out.